yes, she is the rock star. She's been in my own program for the past probably 6 months. She had amazing results so far. She lost about 10 kilos. She got stronger. So now she is not lifting dumbbells. She is going for crazy heavy weights in the gym. And you know why? Because she got stronger because of her food and of her meal prep, basically, and which is super amazing. And I love to see her meal prep. Is honestly the best at meal prepping. And when I'm always checking her nutrition, I'm always getting super hungry. And that's why I wanted to introduce you to her, so you can get some tips from her because she knows exactly now what she is doing when it comes to nutrition. But she's been in the same boat as you when you started. For example, she didn't know a lot about macros, but she knew how to meal prep, but she didn't know how much to eat, for example. And I'm also really lucky because I got to try her meals in our in-person event, and honestly, they are so delicious. So that's why I decided to welcome Demy on the stage in here. So if you are excited for meal prep tips, hacks, tricks, whatever, just drop some fire emoji, and to also welcome Demy in here, and she will be spilling some of her secrets. So thank you so much, Demy, for being here. And yeah, I can't wait to hear your tricks and how you are meal prepping. So if you can just tell us a bit about your experience and yeah, something about you.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me to your live stream, Wendy, and to
No
share
worries.
some tips. I would say, or like some personal experience with meal prep. Because I've been meal prepping for over 5 years now. But as you said, like I
Mm.
knew that macros exist, but I didn't
Mhm.
know how to track macros or calories or how much I should eat. So yeah, I was meal prepping, but I really didn't know what I was meal prepping.
Mhm.
And after I joined your program, I kept evolving with meal prep. This is actually an ongoing process. I think nobody ever gets really,
Oh yeah.
it's never set in stone. Your taste
Yeah.
change, your schedule might change, your needs might change. So you need to adjust the meal prep as
And
well.
even the ingredients are changing as well in the shop, like you go to Lidl and then Lidl has every week something different. So you always kind of need to be checking the nutrition
Yes.
labels. So it's kind of like a process. It's never like ending.
Yes, exactly. And especially if you are moving from one country to the other or you're
Oh yeah.
traveling, that's also a big thing for meal prep to
Yep,
find the right
totally.
ingredients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree. Yeah, and I think it's like when you are meal prepping for a really long time and then you are calculating your calories and macros, you get to know what you are eating, and this is the main point actually to keep your results forever like off, basically.
Yeah, that's true. And meal prep, I understand how it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes for some people that they're just starting their journey with meal
Mhm.
prep because you have to think that uh, do I have to meal prep for the whole family? I have a job, I have friends to meet with, I have events to attend to, I want to go out. So sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming in the beginning. I was there
Mhm.
as well. I'm still there sometimes. There are
Same.
weeks, as everything else, you have some weeks that it might be a bit more overwhelming. Some other weeks is not so much. But the key point with meal prep is that you do it for yourself. If you
Mhm.
have some targets, some goals you want to achieve, meal prep is, I would say, key to help you achieve those goals. And what helped me a lot throughout the whole
Totally.
years is that the change of mindset
Mhm.
from I must or I have to meal prep to I want to meal prep because I know my taste better. I know what I
Mhm.
like, so I will meal prep foods I like, and it will help me. That's the key for me. If I have meal prepped, let's say everything for the whole week, it will help me not binge eat or
Mhm.
avoid takeaway, for
Yeah,
example.
totally. Which means that you are saving a lot of money and you are
Yes.
also saving time of, going all the time to the restaurants or
Yeah.
ordering takeaways because you are waiting 1 hour for a takeaway and then it's shit anyway. So yeah, definitely you are saving a lot of energy kind of in the long run, basically, not when you are meal prepping and it takes you 1 hour or two, but in the long run, because if you're gonna meal prep like once a week, then for 2 hours maybe, and then it's done. You don't need to cook every single day
Yeah.
for half an hour, 1 hour, because this is what happened to me. Like when I was moving, I didn't have any meal prep, so I had to constantly cook. Like in the evening, I had to cook in the for lunch. I had to prep my breakfast because I couldn't just use like the kitchen easily. So it took me actually in the long run a lot of hours to meal prep basically for just one single day. So when you are doing it in advance and then you are actually planning the foods for the future for your days ahead, you are actually saving a lot of time as well and a lot of dishes.
Yes, that's true. And sometimes I know that some people say, "Oh, I don't want to meal prep for the whole week. The food loses the taste if it stays in the freezer or if you put it in the freezer." But there are some things that actually taste much better if you prep them ahead and
Mm-hmm.
you have it after 1 or 2 days. Some sauces, for
Mm-hmm.
example, or even breakfast, the overnight oats, or that's why
Oh
they're
yeah,
called, I guess, overnight
yeah.
oats.
Totally agree. I love overnight oats, even like 2, 3 days in the fridge. I always get them made like 3 days is kind of like the maximum I'm eating them,
Hmm.
but it's like it's soaked and it's so soft, it's sweet. So I
Yep.
don't like actually the overnight oats on the day or the day after. I'm honestly
Mm.
waiting like 2 days or 3 days afterwards. Or chili con carne is really good as well. Or any
Yes.
kind of like bolognese and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And meal prep in general, I wouldn't say there is, one way to do it. Some people
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have it for the whole week. Some people prefer doing it twice per week. Depends on the schedule, what you have, how your job is, how if you don't like the taste of food after 2 or 3 days, you can really plan that. And for me, I've changed a lot of ways to do it. I've done it in the past twice per week. Now I'm meal prepping most of the time once per week for the whole week. And I'm okay to have it in the fridge, but sometimes I also use freezer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a way to find what suits you and what you like, and bring it to your own life.
Like when I was on my bikini and I had zero energy, I was honestly buying like 2 kilos of chicken, 2 kilos of rice, whatever, and then I was just cooking it for the 14 days ahead. Yeah, not just 3 days, 4 days. 14 days, and then I put everything into the freezer. And basically, what I was doing on a daily basis, because obviously the taste and it was different 14 days after, I maybe like put it on the pan and then I just added more sauce or more herbs or some spices. I added a little bit of water, olive oil, just so it has some taste. But I didn't have to like cook it. I didn't have to cut the chicken. I didn't
Mhm.
have to wait for the rice and so on. So honestly, I just like, I don't know, heat it up, add more spices, or just did maybe tzatziki with that and so on, just
Mhm.
to make it a little bit more fresh. But yeah, 14 days was my maximum so far.
That's a lot, I would say. Yeah, that's a lot. But at least you could stay on top of your
Yeah,
nutrition for 14 days.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I,
crazy.
as I said, like meal prep can vary a lot between people.
Mm,
There is, of course, some base for the meal prep that can help, especially beginners when they want to start with that. But every time you need to bring it more to your needs, of course.
yeah.
But when it comes to the base, if we can point out a few steps for the meal prep, I would say the first step and key for the meal prep is planning. No wonder.
Mhm.
You need
Like
to
with
be
everything else.
exactly. You need to know your calendar in very simple words. So when, for
Mhm,
example, what I'm doing, I usually meal prep on Sunday, rarely midweek, but sometimes as well. What I do, I'm checking my calendar for the upcoming week or the upcoming days. And I'm checking what days am I working, how many hours, do I have any dinners to go out with friends or business dinners during the week, do I have any events to attend, because that will modify a lot the
mm,
meal prep menu I will create. So this is, I think, without it, I don't know how I would plan it, because you
Mm,
don't know if you're going to plan 3 days, 5 days, or are you going to prep lunches, dinners, some
mm,
you might not even be at home for the whole week,
yeah.
let's say, and you meal prep dinner and it's a waste.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, that's something that applies to me actually. Like now I'm prepping just lunches because then, for example, dinner, I'm cooking with my boyfriend. So for me, I don't need to cook dinner because I always know that we are cooking quite healthy stuff. I'm still
Hmm.
measuring everything. I'm still weighting everything before we're gonna eat it or before we're gonna cook it. But still, I'm having this kind of flexibility that dinner will be something special, something different than my lunches, basically. But I'm keeping my breakfast as well, meal prepped for the whole week. And I'm usually doing it on Sunday and Wednesdays, or sometimes Monday and Thursdays. It depends
Mm.
on my schedule as well. And I would say it's important to say also about you that you are super busy. Like you have two jobs, like you are crazy, you are working crazy hours, you are still finding the time to go 4 times a week to the gym in your super busy schedule, you are traveling a lot, and you are still finding the 1 or 2 hours or so for the meal prep to get you closer to your goals. So I think that's really important as well. So it's not just like you are waiting for the meal prep time when it's gonna come. No, you are really busy and then you are finding the time. And I think this is super important as well.
Oh yeah, I dedicate the day for the meal prep. For
Mm.
me, Sunday, because I'm doing it on Sunday, is my meal prep day for
Yep.
sure. And if
Yep.
I don't do for the whole week and I have to meal prep midweek, for example, I will dedicate some time for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, if, as you said, if I just leave it whenever I'll find time to meal prep, I've seen that in the past when I didn't have the meal prep and I had to cook for myself, and I was like,
Yep.
okay, whenever I find time, I will just cook for myself. I never found the time, and of course, I
Mm.
ordered the takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the biggest weak point of us, of everyone, because we when we get home we are just hungry and then we want to eat something like quickly, and then you always look out in the fridge what is there, to eat, and then you are able to eat whatever you find. It can be McDonald's. Like honestly, your brain doesn't have any excuses that you are on your fitness journey. The brain doesn't care, and it wants to eat everything that you're gonna see. So I feel like when you are meal prepping and then you have something always ready to go, then you are kind of saving yourself and you are also getting closer to your goals rather than just hoping for the best when you are coming home and you will cook later on. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally agree.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's a bit, you're thinking about the menu for the week and you're like, oh my god, how what will I cook? And okay, I choose the meals I want to cook, but I need a
Mm,
grocery list. What should I buy?
mm,
Where should I go to buy it? So in the beginning, that's why the planning, and I don't include the grocery list in the planning. I will explain why. But the planning is just to see what you have to meal prep for the week,
mhm,
and by what I mean what meals and how many of the days you need to meal prep, to be
mhm,
on top of your calendar more or less. And
mhm,
after that, what I usually do most of the time, sometimes because the more I meal prep, the more I get to know what I need to do without every
mhm,
time doing all the steps, let's say. And that will happen that happens with everyone, really. The more you get advanced in something, you get better. um, I use the app. I use the app to track the meals I'm thinking I want to meal prep for the week, because there are sometimes some new meals I want to try, and of course I do have an idea how many calories this will have and how much the macros will be, but it's not always so accurate, I
mm.
would say. So it's
Yep.
better to just go there, put the meals you have in mind, check what your daily intake is, and see, okay, I want to meal prep this menu, and this will be total calories and macros. So then you can adjust with snacks in between or change a few things with your menu.
Yeah, totally. What I'm doing, for example, is I'm checking kind of like in advance. So, for example, like for today's dinner, we have a pasta. So
Mm,
I weighted it, and it was like 120 grams of pasta. But then I wouldn't have a snack in the evening. So I'm like, no, no, no. I'd rather have less of the pasta and have one extra
Yeah,
snack at like 10 p.m. So I'm gonna be doing like 60 grams of pasta, which is gonna leave me with like 200 calories left for the rest of the day to make sure that I am within my calories, and that's it. So I just made the changes to just some carbs, to some fat and so on. And then also what I love about you, that you are meal prepping for days ahead, of course, but then you are also copy pasting the calories and the macros in the app to the days ahead. So that way, when it's, for example, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can always change the snacks. You can always change it up if you need to, or if you crave something, you can always add it into your meal plan,
yeah.
which is amazing.
This I find amazing that I can just copy paste everything for the whole days, and
Yeah,
I don't have to think about it every day
yeah,
to add the meals.
totally,
It's a
totally.
lifesaver, really.
Yeah,
But
and
you
it's
see
time
what you're
saver as well.
and what you're doing as well, you meal prep breakfast and lunch, I think. So and now
Mhm.
you're talking about dinner, and you did a mini meal prep within your day for the dinner, because you mini meal prep your dinner, but also you wanted some snacks, so you thought of
Yeah,
it and you added it. So
yeah,
it's a, I don't know how to say, it's like the
it's
doll, the
yeah,
the
it's kind of like
roasted
the planning
doll.
process. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
honestly. And I know, like, now I'm eating, like, I found my favorite snack at the moment. Like this week, I'm just eating this snack, and it's just protein bar from Billa for like 20 crowns. And it's so freaking good. And then obviously, it's really small bar. I'm adding like 100 grams of strawberries and then like 50 grams of grapes. So basically, the volume is huge. And I can honestly snack on this for maybe like half an hour. So I
yeah,
don't feel like, okay, this mini protein bar is done within like 5 minutes. Okay, what next? So I'm calculating even my strawberries, my grapes, and because I know they are super sweet, honestly, even after the grapes, I'm like, I am sick of sugar now because
yeah.
it's like super sweet. So honestly, if you are craving something sweet, then I would also meal prep or meal plan some fruit into your daily intake.
Yeah, yeah, I do that as well. I'm trying to have at least one fruit every day, or
Mm,
for example, this week I have apple, so I have one apple per day. But sometimes I have melon as well, and I cut the
mhm.
melon in a container. So whenever I feel like I want something sweet, I just grab the container and I
Yep.
have some melon, which is very convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Perfect. Yeah.
so from tracking everything in the app, then you create your grocery list with some things you might have already, and then some things might be added, and there you go. You have your grocery list. Depending on what kind of person you are, you can write it down on a paper, or I don't know. There are a lot of fancy meal prep templates out there, or I just use my phone, just a
Me
bullet point,
too.
very simple bullet
Same.
point,
There's
and
no
I just
time to waste the time.
I know, yeah. And then you buy everything and you come back and you want to think of the meal prep, but there is one step that I feel like I was also doing that in the past, and because I found it useless, let's say, but it caused me a lot of anxiety when something was not working out well. So prepping your containers, your jars, your equipment, the kitchen equipment, because imagine if you start meal prepping something and you realize you don't have the right containers or jars for your overnight oats, and okay, what should I do now?
Mhm.
So it's very useful to have this planned ahead as well, especially if you're on the beginning of the meal prep journey.
Mm.
This will get, of course, once you have your containers, jars, equipment, this will not be a step that you have to do every time, but initially I think it's very useful.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah. And then that was the prep time, and now it's actual cooking time for the meal prep. The most important thing when it comes to meal prepping is the prioritization of the cooking, because you will have things that need much more time to be cooked, like a stew, for example, or you might need to cut a lot of veggies and fruits. So you need to start always with those that will take much more time to be cooked and prepped, and leave
Mm,
the easier ones at the end, towards the end.
mm,
And yeah, that's pretty much the prioritization of cooking is the most important part of the meal prep for me. And last but not least, for sure, it's prepping some snacks, some juices, or sauces, or even sweets. The bars you mentioned before. If imagine
mm.
if you would plan it ahead and you would prep your own bars,
That's the
and you would know
plan. I was
exactly.
already looking at some recipes, so yeah, that's the plan. Probably next
Yeah,
week.
I want to make this week some bars and prep some
Mm,
bars, so I might be
mm.
able to share some recipe.
Yes, I can't wait. We all need some inspirations.
Yeah, so
Amazing. Yeah.
the snacks, I think, especially the snacks, because when you what you mentioned before, you come back from work in the afternoon, evening, and you don't have dinner ready, and you're hungry. So if you don't
Mm,
have snacks as well ready, then you'll go to take away. But if you have some snacks ready, you'll just pinch on the snacks for a bit. That will help
mm.
you, fulfill your cravings for this point, and then you can prep your dinner.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I always have snack. Like I eat now 5 times a day, something like that. Like I have breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack. So I have
Yeah, you
five
have the
meals.
snacks in between. Yeah.
Yeah. But some people they like to eat just 3 times a day, which is totally
Mhm.
fine. Just make sure that it's a little bit bigger and it's like maybe filled with a lot of veggies and a lot of kind of fat as well, because we want to keep you fuller for longer.
Mhm.
So obviously you need to kind of plan all this in advance as well. It depends on how many meals you want to eat. If you are the person with just 2 3 meals, then definitely make sure that you are eating more fat, or maybe chia seeds,
Mhm.
nuts, maybe more olive oil, maybe more avocado, eggs, and stuff like that, just to keep you full for longer. For example, for my 5 meals, I don't usually add that much healthy fats. So I don't usually use like avocado and so on, just because I don't need to, because I'm eating every 2 3 hours. So I
Yeah.
know I'll get hungry soon, but it's honestly making me happy if I can eat more than less.
Yeah, but as you said, like it works in a different way for
Yeah.
everyone. I've been there with the 3 meals, the three bigger meals, but even during that time, having like some cut veggies in my fridge
Mm,
helped me to just add them on my meal.
yeah.
I'm usually very lazy to cut the veggies and fruits when I have to eat them. Uh, Even though it's not half, but like when I want or I crave veggies and fruits. So if I have them, I have this week, for example, prepped veggies in my fridge. It's so easy
Hmm.
because when I want to just snack on something, I get the veggies with the sauce. I have the Greek yogurt sauce,
Yeah.
and it's a healthy snack, and it's nothing better really.
Yeah, and it's crunchy. I think the more crunchy it is, the better, because your taste buds and then your brain will be satisfied actually. Because if you will get just something, I don't know, like protein shake, for example, like I know a lot of people are snacking on protein shake, but honestly, you will get hungry really soon because it's just liquid. Then
Mm.
your body will absorb it really fast or digest it really fast, compared to if you get the crunchy veggies and then the Greek yogurt, because you will eat it for longer, and your body will have to digest it for longer as well. So definitely keep those like ideas in mind as well when you are planning your snacks. And if you know that you will be more hungry after the protein shake, maybe next time try to switch it to actual meal.
Or instead of a protein shake, you can have a smoothie, protein smoothie, but
Yeah.
from with frozen bananas. That is like
Mm.
a ice cream type that
Mm.
you have to use
Yeah.
a spoon to eat it.
Yum. Yes, definitely. Okay. Do you have like any another tips?
These are, I would say, I would say this is the meal prep basis that I've been following as well for a lot of years. Of course, each one of them has a lot in it, and you can deep
Mm-hmm.
dive a lot. And if some people are getting tired of eating the same meal for a couple of days, that doesn't have to be like as you see in the group as well. Like making meal preps in the containers, and I have these ones every day. But some people can have rice prepped, some chicken prepped,
Mm-hmm.
some fats ready, and then mix and match and change it a bit throughout
Yeah.
the whole week.
Yeah, that's a good tip as well. And also when it's coming like to the cooking part, do you wait it raw or when it's cooked?
Raw.
Nice. Yeah, everything's raw. And then what do you do? Like, for example, if you have like 1 kilo of chicken, basically, then we know it's raw, 1 kilo of chicken. And then what you do after you're gonna cook it.
Yeah, so I think that comes a bit more with the more you meal prep, the your eye gets a bit better how to put the meals. Like I'm not gonna weigh the chicken after it's cooked, to be honest, because I weigh everything beforehand. And of course, when I put it in
Mm-hmm.
the app, I divide it by five if I cook for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually when I meal prep chicken, if it's chicken breast, then it's half chicken, let's say, or slices of chicken. I know how many slices or
Mm-hmm.
pieces of chicken I will put on each container.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. For example, what I do when it comes to weighting, because this is like the most common questions I always get, is I weighted it. It's 1 kilo. I know that. Then I'm cooking it, and then I am taking the cooked chicken into a
Mhm.
bowl, which I am weighting the whole bowl, basically how much it has after cooking. So, for example, obviously it will change the texture, it will
Oh,
change the weight. That's why we need to measure it before it's gonna cook. So, for example, now it has 800 grams when it's cooked. So now I know because I need to do five meals for the 5 next days. So now I'm gonna divide those 800 grams by five, basically, which is, I don't
yes.
know,
If you do it for 5 days, yeah,
to 150. Yeah,
100 and
100
something.
something. Yeah, so I know basically per meal it's 170, let's say, I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah,
bad at math. 170 per meal. And then I'm adding each container on the weight, and then I'm just adding
yeah.
180, 70 grams of chicken, and then I'm moving the
Yes.
containers. This is how I do meal prep, to make sure that it's correct, basically. But for example, as you said, your way is really good as well. It's super fast, and honestly, the body is not calculating calories per day as such, it is calculating kind of calories per week. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why weekends are playing a huge role as well. That's a good another question that just came up to my head. What do you do during the weekend?
That's a good question. I usually try to like if I'm sticking to my meal prep for the whole week, and I didn't go, for example, for dinner out for the whole week. I'll try to, because I will usually crave something different. I'll
Yeah.
try to plan my weekend ahead in a way to know that, okay, if I go for dinner on Saturday evening, I will plan my meals before that, so I will have less carbs, less fat, everything less, depending as well where I'm gonna go to eat, where what restaurant I'm gonna choose, and I'm checking the menu as well. That I learned from you, to check the menu beforehand and know what I'm gonna order. So I'm planning the day ahead, and I might go out and eat something. If I don't go out, I actually meal prep on Friday afternoon, evening for the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I have something similar basically. So if I know I'm going out, even for me, it's not just like on the weekends. Usually we go out like in the middle of the week as well, just for a date, because then weekends are super busy everywhere. So
Hmm.
when we are, for example, having a date on Tuesday, let's say, then I know that I will have my breakfast really light. I will kind of cut a lot of carbs. I will cut a lot of fat. So, for example, no avocado on the day when I'm going out, or
Yeah.
no like a lot of bacon, for example. I'll try to cut even the eggs because I know they are quite high in fat. But I will use egg whites instead,
Mhm.
just for higher volume, but higher protein as well. So yeah, I am making these kind of adjustments as well. That's why I'm able to eat out quite a lot. If I say like once a week, at least twice a week sometimes,
Mhm.
or when we are traveling and we can keep our results,
Yep.
kind of maintaining the results because we know how much we eat. And also, I think it's super important when we are going into the weekend, we still need to kind of track all the foods that we are eating
Yeah.
if we want to see better results and faster results. So, for example, if I'm ordering something, I'm usually go for something simple that I know that has some protein in. It doesn't need to be just chicken. It can be just, like last time I had steaks or eggs, prawns, salmon, any
Yeah.
fish, kind of like any kind of protein. And then I'm adding everything separately in the app to make sure that I know how many calories I have left for the day. Obviously, it's very estimated, it's just guesswork.
Yes.
So we still need to calculate, or actually, we still need to kind of like be mindful of the calories, and we shouldn't go overboard because if we're gonna go overboard both days in a week, it's gonna put us a lot back, basically.
Yeah, well, all your hard work from the week
Hmm.
will be outbalanced from what you're gonna eat on the weekend, and
Yeah,
it's I don't want to say it's a shame, but you're working hard for 5 days, and then if you eat something both days on the weekend that
yeah.
might get you, let's say, out of your not how's it called, the schedule or whatever you
Like
wanted
the
to achieve
routine,
for the
I'd
whole
say.
week, yeah,
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
routine, then it's you might feel a bit not great by the end
Yeah.
of the week.
And also like it will affect the next week. So for example, like if you're gonna eat all the time out or if you're gonna be drinking like a lot of alcohol, then obviously Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be very slow to get back
Oh
into your
yeah.
routine. Mhm.
I mean, the
Yeah.
food might help you hit some PRs because of the carbs.
It depends again what you are eating. Like if you go for like really greasy pizza or McDonald's that doesn't have like a lot of
Yeah,
nutrients, obviously it has
true.
some carbs, but it's not whole foods. It's very
They're empty.
processed, and
Yeah.
then you will feel lack of energy. But then if you go for burgers or for something that has some value, actually, like I know it's still carbs, but it's still like meat and or like any kind of like normal food in a restaurant, it can give you some boost to hit some PRs, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay, do you have anything else you would like to add?
I think these are my very simple first steps for meal prep, I
Yes,
would say.
yes,
And
definitely.
yeah,
Hmm.
every week
Perfect.
every week you get better at it. Of course, everything that you start is a bit difficult in the beginning, but the more you do it, the better it gets. And it's
Yeah,
never it's never ending story. After 5 years, I still don't know how to meal prep like perfectly for everything. So it's a never ending
same.
story.
Yep, totally. And we are all learning every single day. So even though if you don't have the perfect macros or the calories like 2 days, then next day just try to adjust it or make some changes to your meals. I would say just see it as a game. Yeah. Because we
Yes.
are playing a game like on a daily basis with everything. Like we are playing a game in the job, we want to, earn more money. So we need to work a bit more, so it's kind of like everything is a game. This is how I
Yeah.
see it. And I see those numbers as a game as well. Can I, get my steps? I just hit my steps. So yes, it's a tick, so I kind of
Yeah.
won the game for today and stuff like that. So I think it's important to see it like in a funny way as well, not just as you said previously, because I want to do it to get me closer to my goal. So definitely if you are, for example, feeling that you cannot hit your macros or hit your calories, then it's only okay because none of us are perfect, and then we are all learning. it's all about adjusting and planning and trying something new, what is working, and so on.
Yep. Just one last maybe tip from me. I know that some people might not be able to cook for a long time and meal
Mm,
prep for a long time, but choose some music or a show that you really like and put it on
mm,
when you're meal prepping. Either it's for 1 hour or even less, or for more hours, because that just gets you in the mood. Like I usually put music and I start dancing while I'm meal prepping.
I love that. I want to see that on a video. Yes, we should do it. We should do like a live stream cooking now.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, thank you so much for all your tips and tricks. And I bet like if any of you ladies will be following these tips and implementing those strategies, you will get closer to your goals like much faster. Because we are all struggling with knowing how much to eat and what to eat, but no more. We know exactly how much to eat, what to eat, and now we've got all the tips how to meal prep. So no more fucking excuses. Let's get you toned. Let's get you, confident in your body, like we did it with Demy, and I did it for myself as well. And it's possible to do it. And we are definitely planning more live streams in the future. So if there is anything that you would like to know more about or you need some extra help with, then let us know. You can let me know or Demi on Instagram as well. And then we will try to help you. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in another live stream soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.